So when doing this, I suggest completely new belt. I will use 40. You can use 80. Just use something as rough as possible to uniformly take off the material, and it will maintain it completely flat. If you use something of the higher grit, it will take it slower. You will have more chance to mess it up by having uneven surfaces, and then that will not attach to the steel as nice as this will. So you can see this is the side that goes toward the blade or the cutting edge. Here we want it to be a little bit thicker, and it's actually, you know, nicely tapered. And you remember what I had when I started. Now, as you can see, it fits very, very nicely flat to the steel. Of course, the width of the antler shrinked, let's call it shrinked, or became smaller. But as I left a little bit more, I will be able to cut it here. So yeah, I think it will be a fantastic one. Mike, if you are watching this, you can see the whole procedure, the same antler, and I think this one will be fantastic. There are still steps that I can mess up, not intentionally, of course, but I think this might be just wow. Now comes the part which I hate the most with the stag, as it takes the most time and there's the most room for, you know, error or messing it up, not to use the bad words. As I said, you can see now what I meant, as this is round. I cannot put it, I don't know if you can see it, on a surface and make it flat, because it will never happen. So what I do is, I don't grind the bevel, so this is flat. And what I will do, I will attach the scales with some masking tape. Which, in my experience, so what I'm showing you in this videos, it's not something I'm making up as I go, apart from talking, but these are all the proven methods that I use now for the last years, and they work, at least for me. But as I said, there are still some rooms for a failure or for mistakes, but I also have the countermeasures. So this is what we have now, and this is where I say why I say it's tedious. So now we have to make the holes on this one, first with the 6mm drill bit for my pins, then with 8, take this off, attach another one, but it will pay up the finished product to take a little bit more time. And so I will do some stuff and then I will explain why I did it. So you can see here, because I left this without grinding the bevels, this is flat, sits here, let's say relatively flat, okay, as flat as I can on this. The machinery is still limited. Now, as I will be pushing this down, because here is quite a leverage, might move, so this is why I do it like this. So this is relatively stable, relatively flat, relatively, did I say square? I didn't. So, and by drilling this hole in this way so far, I was able to do it in a good way to make a nice finished product. So I will not be recording this because you can see there is limited space where I can put this. But yeah, I can record as I will do it and put in the pins. So the first pin is in, we go back. Putting in the second pin. Again, it's going nicely, which means the angle is quite good. Third pin is in, and if I eyeball, they looked quite nice. Change the drill bit. .1 for the lanyard hole, and the same stuff. Okay. Now here sometimes happens that I get the how you call the effect of the windmill, but obviously not this time. Perfect. Putting back 6mm, adjusting a little bit, and that's it. What I'm doing here now is taking out the pins, as I don't want to use the pliers too much, because they leave the mark on the pin, and with the such tight fit, that stuff will maybe affect at the glue time how things go apart, and then I have problems there. So, well, let me know in the comments below if all this movement of the camera is bothering you. So now, taking off this scale. And attaching the other one. So just to make sure I don't mess it up, okay, I will have to thin the hand a little bit, but not too much, which is great. I think this one will be really good looking, but let's see until we finish it. I will also be adding jamon. With jamon on the knives, you know, in reality don't add much to the functionality, but they add to the visual appeal, at least in my opinion. And since I'm the one who is making the knife, my opinion counts the most in this case. Sorry, just kidding a little bit, don't get me wrong. I'm not that self-centered usually. So and 3. Okay, now we go to the 8. Done. Taking out the pins. And now okay, now grind the bevels, apply the satinite, letting it dry until tomorrow, and then heat treatment. Important thing when grinding bevels. Those of you who already know this, I apologize, but those of you who want to make your own knives, you're starting, it's all about this. You will have a feeling you are holding it flat, rethink, because if you are getting uneven stuff, I think it's called 2-inch divot. For example, here you will have something. It means you are not holding it flat. Now, if you get that and you know you're certain you're holding it flat, but the grinds are not okay, do one thing that will help you significantly. Just grind on one side. Just grind on one side and you will see it will improve significantly. Of course, if you grind on one side, don't hold it here and then move and hold. Make it even. It's all about the timing of the pulling the knife across the belt, and about the pressure, as I say. And one thing is, try it. When you start with an angle like this, things like 2-inch pivot will not show that strong. The more you move like that, the worse that will be, especially with the kitchen knife with the 5 centimeters and longer blades, it will show. So let us grind this one. Write me in the comments below if anybody has any idea how to prevent the glasses from fogging, especially now it's summer. That becomes a pain in the ass. So trying to get the relative symmetry here. You saw I don't use any jigs, any you know, the file guides. Bringing the plunge line is, I think it's plunge line, or anyway, the lines up to a relatively same distance and relatively same, you know, design. Because, you know, now this blade, I will file here the, you know, the, I don't know how that's called, you know, the small hole that divides the section of the cutting edge from the handle, and knock off these edges with the file, so the knife would, let's say, the chance of cracking during the heat treatment is minimized. Apply the satinite for the hamon and then goes into the fire, as I said yesterday. If you go back, because I was not able to explain before because of all the noise, check out during the grinding, I was showing you certain parts, how this thing moved. At first this one went up and, you know, this part was way lower, just to see how to handle that. So for example, when this part here close to the ricasso was already very high, while still it was very low here, I moved, it's very difficult to see. Well, maybe like that. So I started then to grind like this. So the angle and the beginning. Otherwise, I was pulling all the time, but then I was just doing this. So all these kind of things you will learn with the training. The same stuff here. When I want to do it flat, like that. If here it's too high, angle and starting here. I'm exaggerating the angle, of course, because as I said before, this or this, it's way different, you know, and can have very different results. Also, pressing down or up, you know, just this, it's very, very different. So play with that, see how much small pressure is changing where the belt is taking off the material. And then once you master the freehand grinding, I think you mastered the most important stuff. So this is it. Now, as I said, filing and then satinite.